So this week's episode of The Rising of the Shield Hero was a pretty interesting episode. I loved the whole kind of Filo becoming the heir to the throne for her species. There was some fun action, there was some fun comedy, but the thing that really tied this episode together for me would have to be the end stages and really what this queen was able to do by giving some very important words of wisdom to our main character Naofumi. Naofumi has every right to be as pissed off and hate the world as much as he does, but because of Raftalia early into the series, he was able to mend his heart enough that he could slowly start trusting more people over time. He's not an idiot, he knows at any moment someone can screw him over, but because of Raftalia's care and being a shoulder to lean on, he's able to trust people more and more. And the only reason that the conversation at the end of the episode went the way it did, when you compare it to maybe episodes 1 through 3, somewhere around there, that conversation never would have played out like that. Now, Fumi has every right to hate the heroes as much as he does, but he admits that he really hasn't tried to clear his name with the heroes because he feels like they wouldn't believe him, because look at what the kingdom's done. They've never believed him up till now, so why would he have a personal one-on-one conversation with them, because he feels like everyone's against him past a very select few. I love that conversation because this queen has been around for generations. We learned that she most likely was under the protection of the shield hero back when that shield hero was around, and since then has obviously gone and died or went back to their original world, something to that nature. However, we also learn a pretty sad fact that apparently their species have a pretty short memory, so you can't even remember the name of the hero you were a party member of. Which is pretty sad, especially considering that when Naofumi leaves, like, what's going to happen with Filo? Is she going to be in a similar predicament where she's going to live for generations being alone and almost afraid, you could say, of how lonely that must be to live for generations being the queen, waiting and hoping that one day another hero will raise one of your species so they can kind of inherit your throne. That's a pretty messed up line in terms of power, and it's pretty sad, especially just seeing just how much she just wants to be able to be in the comfort of the hero who raised her, and now Fumi is the best thing kind of close to her, because all she really remembers is that her master was a good person, and now Fumi is pretty much someone who kind of reminds her of this person, even if she doesn't totally remember all the details about the previous shield hero. But to see just now Fumi not really get upset, but also admit that he hasn't tried and that he will try, is something that I think is really important. I'm sure there'll be plenty of people saying, Bird has no idea what she's saying. She only knew everything that's happened, but she knows about the false claim. She knows that everything that's gone against him, but she also knows that the waves they're currently fighting are probably basic. They're probably the starter waves. There's going to come a point where all the heroes are needed. There's going to come a wave that is so deadly in strength that there's no way for one hero to deal with it. Unless Naofumi proves that he's strong enough, that his party's strong enough, most likely all the heroes are needed, and based on that explosion at the end of the episode after the credits, there's possibly a chance that those heroes got killed. I mean, granted, they are heroes, so maybe they got some legendary armor, time will tell, but the 4 heroes, they need to work together. That's kind of the system. There's a reason 4 summoned. Different countries for a summit, you need to be able to spread out your power and be able to protect the world as a whole. And I like that because she sees like, you need to work together. If you don't work together, we have to kill you and summon new ones and get them prepared. You're currently not strong enough, you're not leveling up properly, and she sees like Naofumi is the most heroic out of them. She sees that he is the true hero, but he also needs to put away his self-hatred and just also this resentment he has and put it for the better of the world that he's summoned to fight for. She's been around for generations. She is powerful. Hell, she can lock him out of his shield to not use the raid shield if she wants. She has so much knowledge and power, but she's also understands that he has a reason for this kind of resentment for them, but she knows that there is no way he can survive if he puts himself first rather than working with people he may not like. And if those heroes did survive the explosion, it'll be really interesting to see. I expect the spear hero won't listen to reason, but it'll be really interesting to see the bow and sword because they've shown the most promise in sort of not being as clueless as the rest, and I think that's just such a powerful moment, because if you look at Naofumi when this all first started, he would have never. I mean, he walked away when they were all in that room. He had a chance to try to prove his name, and he just said, no, they're not going to believe me, and they probably wouldn't have believed him. But I like how Naofumi is admitting he hasn't really put the full effort in attempting to mend what's happened to his name. We've seen that he's able to gain party support. It's not complete insanity, especially now that a couple of the heroes are starting to question what exactly is going on with everything at play. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if the worst princess was trying to kill the other heroes because they started snooping around or something to that nature, but still, like, it's so interesting seeing how the hero is kind of like being explored, because if Naofumi wasn't the one to have that false allegation put against him, and if it was the spear or the bow or the sword, a similar situation would probably play out. Naofumi would have been clueless and dense, not taking this as reality, and being the dumb old isekai protagonist we all know and hate. And another hero probably would have been forced to tackle this as reality. That's what makes it so interesting, is all the characters, even the ones that piss us off, they're acting in a way that you understand. I mean, like, the other heroes, as dense as they are, they have a reason for acting the way they do. They have no reason to tackle this as reality. They see a game HUD. Everything about this is a game mechanics, and they're being handed everything on a silver platter, unlike Naofumi. I love that. I really am interested if those heroes did survive, and if they didn't, it's going to be interesting to see if Naofumi can get strong enough to protect the ways themselves. I mean, even though he's doing alright right now, these are just the starter ways. We know they're going to get worse, and especially after learning that essentially there's going to come a point where they have to choose the world or the people, they're going to need all the power that they can get, and it's going to be up to Naofumi to put away his personal grudges and try to work with the other heroes just so he can survive alongside his drive in this realm. There's so much actually at play. Even if you think it's just going to be a couple of dumb birds fighting around, it's actually a lot more deep than that. When it came to the Filo stuff, I thought it was pretty interesting, especially because the episode kicks off with Naofumi probably thinking, oh, she probably just forgot about everything that's happening, to nope, I'm going to take Mel as a hostage, and you're going to prove that you're strong enough. It really was her just wanting to essentially get her heir to the throne, because if you've been around for generations, you can't even remember the hero who raised you. I think it's probably time for you to pass on and kind of move along. I mean, that has to be a very lonely lifestyle, and Filo is the only one who's been raised by a hero up till this point. And if you're raising the next queen, you gotta be a decent hero, even if Naofumi views himself as the villain. And that entire fight sequence was pretty interesting, especially because she wasn't allowed to be in her bird form. She was supposed to fight in her, like, human form. So she puts on the gloves and she just is getting her ass beat for obvious reason. You're going up against someone who's lived for over 100 years, probably hundreds of years. There's no way that you're going to actually be able to defeat her, if not kill her. However, that wasn't really the objective. The entire point was to prove that she is strong enough that she can become her heir. This was a very greedy thing of her to do, but if you've been around as long as her, you can understand why she's going to this measure to find the next queen. And I thought it was really interesting, especially because of how almost scared it looked like Naofumi and Raftalia were, and just the moral support that he was giving her and believing in her strength. It was really fun just to see her be able to kind of get that full will and resolve to break through that shield. She obviously just scraped her, but it was enough to prove that Filo could be the next queen and that she could grow into someone as powerful as her given enough time. And the fact that she's traveling with such a heroic hero such as the shield hero, she's going to be the next heir. And it's pretty interesting that when they get their crown, essentially they get like a cowlick. It's pretty interesting because we see that the queen has 3 or 4 on her head, and now we have Filo with 1, and it actually raises her stats. So obviously it's probably a way for their species to recognize who's powerful, who's royalty, things like that. It's a small, cute little detail, but it actually serves as a purpose to flesh out their species, which is pretty interesting. This episode was pretty fun. It has me thinking about the future of the series, especially where like a season 2 could go, as we've got all these politics at play, these other kingdoms that probably are surviving right now if they got a good enough army, but if this is just going to keep getting worse, especially to the point that it's going to be the world or the people, you need all the help you can get, you need all the countries you can get, you need all the heroes you can get, and all the power that you can kind of wield. There is so much at play. This really does feel hopeless, even though it feels like a lot more optimistic than what we're used to with the rising of the shield hero. Look at the intro stages to the show. This was just a man resenting everything, but because of Raftalia, can now pick himself back up and trust and even smile from time to time. However, he's not an idiot, and he understands how people in this world can easily use and abuse him, as he has been pretty much tormented this entire time. But I like how he's not completely clueless. He understands that he may be acting a little rash, and that he probably realizes that he does need 3 other heroes to fight alongside him, because 4 were summoned for a reason. 1 shouldn't have to handle this all by themselves, and that's pretty interesting. I really like just the concept, and just how even though you feel like Naofumi's in the right, hate these heroes, hate this world, however, you still gotta make amends. You still gotta put your differences aside, at least until the battles are over, and then maybe you can butt heads afterwards. Because really, if Naofumi wants to survive, he needs all the help he can get. And that's what I love about this episode. People can bitch about the queen being a little too like, oh, she doesn't understand the situation he's in, all the hell he's been through, but she's been around for many, many years and many generations, and she also knows about the allegations, as kind of seen by some of her dialogue. in this episode. She understands how shitty that must be, but she also understands that if you want to save this world, if you are going to be the hero who survives, you have to put aside your differences. And that's what I love about the Rising of the Shield Hero. Even at a surface level, you might look at a couple of these characters, think you know all that they're going to do, and then you see so much actual character development and just really solid writing backing them. That scene where she's laying on Naofumi's lap could easily be a disposable and cliche eye roll. However, it was actually a pretty sweet and emotional moment, especially when you consider that this could very well be Filo in the future. Naofumi's gone, and another hero comes to the day, and she doesn't actually remember Naofumi, but that head pat is something that she does recognize. Like, that's such a sad and bittersweet moment, and you can see why she was greedy and wanted Filo to fight her so she could find her heir to the throne. I love that. I love moments like that, and when you have the really emotional music playing in the background, especially some of the acoustic pieces that Kevin Penkin kind of composed for this series, it just adds so much weight to the series, and that's why I love the Rising of the Shield Hero. An incredible episode, honestly. I thought it would be a fun episode with the battle, but just tied together with the whole hero concepts and the explosion after the credits, there's a lot to look forward to in the future for the Rising of the Shield Hero. For everyone who did watch, let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and also hit that subscribe button if you happen to be new around here. So until next time, everyone, please take care and have a good one.